Hello and welcome back to the AAT'S podcast, episode number 27, with myself, Adi of Adibiotics.
Me, Aidan Riley.
Good afternoon, Aidan.
Good afternoon, Adi. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, brother. Yourself?
Not bad. Awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, I know a few people who've been watching the podcast from the very beginning. Yeah, you guys on a new location? Yep, we're at a new location. You'll be seeing some podcasts happening here as well as back in the original biotic layer as well. But we decided to upgrade everything right now and just put a smile on this one's face.
That's good. Looks really good.
Hence, we're doing Lethal Weapon 2 today. We decided to even take it to basically double the lethalness of the location, put it that way. Yeah. So yeah, we're just giving the name away, what movie we're reviewing today, and yeah, it is Lethal Weapon 2. Continuing on with the sagas. As you know, for those who do not know about the podcast, every week we do a movie review, we do a standalone movie, then we do a part one of a trilogy, then another standalone, continuing in part 2, 3, 4, depending on... This is actually going to be the first saga that we're doing, isn't it?
Yes.
For those who didn't know. Because Lethal Weapon was a saga. And actually, did you know they've got a Lethal Weapon 5 in the works?
Yeah.
Can't believe it. The only sad thing is Richard Donner, the original director, is not here anymore to film it.
He passed away.
Yeah, he sadly passed away. So now Mel Gibson, the star himself, is going to take over.
Which is really, really suitable, judging from the fact that he is
a legend of
a director,
yeah,
and a writer, and obviously a director as well.
Yeah, so. I mean, you can't go wrong. Look at the great works Gibson's done over the course of his life. He's done Braveheart, he's done Apocalypto, The Passion of the Christ, and
which was a very controversial film.
Yeah, it was. But you know one thing I loved about it, all of Gibson's work, especially as a director. I mean, he's a great actor, but you know when you put him. Also, have you ever watched this other movie of his, the very first directorial debut called The Man Without a Face?
No.
You need to seriously watch it. Whenever you watch a movie that's got that's where an actor has first time stepped behind the camera to take his first attempt, as well as working in front of the camera. Not many of them can pull it off.
No, they can't.
But Gibson, when you watch him in that movie, he's like, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean,
you should direct more.
Yeah.
And I believe that was kind of like the inspiration for him to do Braveheart. So, I mean, Braveheart is, we got to...
Well, here's the thing, I haven't seen Braveheart, I've never seen it.
Alright, get out. Get out of here.
Our good friend Joe actually said the same thing to me when I told him that I haven't watched The Warriors.
With the 1970s. I've watched it in clips, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, but he said to me, what do you mean? He looked at me like this and went, what do you mean you haven't seen The Warriors? I went, I haven't seen it. He's like, why? I don't know, I just haven't.
Can you dig it, Joe? Like, he hasn't watched it.
I haven't watched The Warriors, okay? He's like, where have you been? I'm like,
living under a rock.
I haven't watched it, okay? Yeah. Leave me alone. Are you even human?
Well, you know, it's a good. Like I said, Warriors is actually one of the most classic movies. Somebody I know, one of my neighbours, actually said to me as well. They said that you got to watch this movie, The Warriors. I said, all right, what's it about? It's about these. Sorry to go off topic, but it's about these gang who have to get through so much enemy territory to get back to their home area.
That's The Warriors, yeah?
The Warriors. And it's got the classic line in it, can you dig it? And seriously, my neighbour said that to me, you got to watch it for that line, can you dig it?
Yeah, I hear that quote a lot, can you dig it? Yeah, it's on my list.
Okay, we're gonna review it.
I have to have a lot of mental capacity to watch a film, so I'll watch this one.
Okay,
it's like Scent of a Woman. We're going to be reviewing that. So
who are?
Is that from The Warriors?
No, it's from Scent of a Woman. That's what I'm going to give you a hit on.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah.
Okay.
We'll watch it.
So jumping into topic now. So this week, before we jump into topic, got a list of shout outs I like to give to people. Because as you know, Aidan, we always give out the shout outs for people saying thank you for everything, and just our way of being grateful to them for all their support that they've given us every step of the way. So first shout out I'd like to give out is to Levi from my gym.
Hello, Levi.
Yeah, Levi's absolutely a nice guy, very easy person to talk to and everything. And he says, I like that podcast you and the guy with the hair does. That's what you're known as.
The guy with the hair.
The hair.
What if I shave this off?
He'll come back and haunt you in your sleep.
Probably.
And also want to give a shout out to Niobe.
Hello, Niobe.
Dylan said the best line. He said, Aidan must feed the hair its own protein source. I couldn't stop laughing.
It cooks its own protein source.
Yeah.
It has its own identity.
It does, yeah.
Brain cells.
Yeah. Also want to give a shout out to Emmanuel from the gym.
Hello, Emmanuel.
Emmanuel's awesome as well. He's like a little brother. Even though he's like 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, well, he's
younger
brother.
Yeah, younger brother. We've got,
little brother.
Yeah. Right.
Hello, little brother. Hello, Andy.
Like I say, he's a really nice guy. And also want to give a shout out to Mason.
Hi, Mason.
Mason's a legend in the half years, and I wish him all the best for everything. Also, Fraser.
Hello, Fraser.
Not Dr. Fraser.
Yeah, not Fraser. Yeah, not Dr.
Funny thing is, he actually loves that show himself. He loves that show. He goes, it's one of the best shows he's ever watched. And it was a great show. Also want to give a shout out to
Miles Crane.
Yeah, Miles. Very.
Does he always tuck in his shirt?
Fraser.
Like Miles Crane.
No, he's fine. He's a bit laid back this one.
Tucked in his shirt.
Also want to give a shout out to Anna.
Hello, Anna.
As you remember from last time we gave shout outs to, she was based in who I met on the set of when I was doing production work, and we just kept in touch ever since. And really nice person to speak with, and still is. So bless you for that. And also want to give a shout out to our crew, Will.
Hey, Will. How are you, man?
Yeah, I miss you, bro. Joe.
Of course, Joe.
Yeah. Billy.
Billy.
Tal.
Mantis.
Yeah. And also sister from another Mr. Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Yeah. And also want to give a shout out. There's got to be someone you got to give a shout out to as well.
I've got a good buddy. I've got a new friend called Jonathan. I met him in my favourite coffee shop.
Oh,
You
cool.
know where that is?
There's a list of coffee shops.
Yeah.
But people that don't
know.
know.
The one we met at.
Yeah, the people who don't know, we are coffee enthusiasts.
Yeah.
This is like the second cup I've had so far. And
So
Aidan's on his third, I believe.
So Jonathan, it was good to have you as a new friend.
Yeah.
We're going to stay friends for a long time because we share the same ideas, the same mindset. Dylan.
Yes, Dylan. I like Dylan. I've met Dylan as well.
Yeah,
just
fantastic guy.
One of the nicest people I've ever had the opportunity of meeting, and he was great to meet. He was fantastic, and he still is.
Fantastic guy. Nicola, I've known her now for 5 years. If she ever watches this, which she probably won't, she's hardly on it. But when she is, if she ever watches this, then it's great to stay friends with you for so long. Her son Isaac is just incredible.
Oh, that's great.
He's a firecracker. One of the most unique individuals.
Yeah.
There's too many to mention, but
I mean, I also want to give a big shout out to Ali from my gym. Ali's I would like to do a proper formal introduction with you and Ali. He is a real life inspiration.
Oh,
that is no joke. He is a real life inspiration, and I would love for him to tell his story
on the podcast.
I would love to. I'm looking to want to interview him on Chat Over Coffee, and he's up for it as well. And this is going to be one of the most inspirational interviews I've ever had the opportunity to do. I just know it.
Okay, well,
I just know it. I'll be completely
that's
frank.
going to be interesting.
Thank you. So moving into our topic now, we're talking about, as we're continuing about Lethal Weapon 2. I would say it was good, but I still preferred the original. The only good thing about this one, Aidan, was the fact that you had Joe Pesci jump into it, and he added great comic relief.
Yeah, he was great. He was
from watching him in movies such as Goodfellas. This was actually before Goodfellas. He was doing movies like Home Alone. That was comedy. He also did quite a few movies, but I think obviously Goodfellas is what really cemented him. It really did into superstardom and everything. And we got to definitely review his other movie, My Cousin Vinny, because I love the fact that, I know I've mentioned it beforehand, I love the fact that for once he was the star of the movie.
Surprised we haven't done that film yet.
Okay, rock, paper, scissors now. What do we do next week? Scent of a Woman or My Cousin Vinny?
Okay,
one out of two.
So, what do you think we should do? So, so if I win,
yeah, it's Scent of a Woman.
Yeah.
And if I win, it's My Cousin Vinny.
Okay.
Everyone's going to witness this now, yeah?
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, breaks, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Scissors. Okay, last one wins. Rock, paper, scissors. Okay, you win.
Sense of a Woman.
He rigged it. He rigged it. And then that happened.
Oh no, blooper rail.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. That shows realism. So moving into Lethal Weapon 2, it's a lot more different compared to Lethal Weapon 1, where this time round, Riggs and Murtaugh, again played by Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, they're going up against international criminals.
Yep.
They're using diplomatic immunity to do drug operations, money laundering, and all sorts of other criminal activities, and they're just getting away with it all. You got to admit one thing: the villain this time round was a lot more intelligent than the previous villain, General McAllister from Part 1. And because if you look at it, he knows how to beat the system.
Yes, he does.
He just knows how to beat it, because he says the fact that when Riggs is going to arrest him and he goes, "You can't even give me a parking ticket." No,
yes.
Yeah, because he's
He's so arrogant, isn't he?
Yeah.
When he goes, "You can't." When he says that to Riggs,
yeah,
he goes, "You can't even give me a park." You can see the smile on his face.
I'm going to beat
It's
you
like, it's
every
like that.
step
It's
of the
just
way.
he's just smiling. It's like, "You can't even give me a parking ticket."
Yeah.
And you can see the anger and the frustration in Riggs's face. It's
Yeah,
like,
you can.
"I will take you down," but I love it when Riggs says, I will get you. I will take you down."
Yeah, because if you look at it, Riggs still has that same determination, where you look at the fact that he doesn't let anything bother him. Because he is still quite a bit of that loose cannon that you saw and loved in Part 1. I mean, he's a great cop, he's a great soldier, but if you look at it this way, he's a great fighter as well, isn't he?
Oh God, man, he's
That fight, you got to admit, that fight in Part 1 between him and Gary.
yeah. I mean, that was just. But it wasn't just the fight, though. It was the
build up towards the fight.
It was
Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, he goes to tell me something. "Do you want a shot at the title?" And you go, "Don't mind if I do." And you're like, and then you've got the helicopter in the sky. You've got
the fire hydrant.
You've got the police.
And they're letting it happen.
Yeah, because they want him to get his ass kicked. They want the guy. They want Riggs to kick his ass, and that's just.
Yeah,
oh, man, I love
it was like I love the Murtaugh in going back to going Part 1. I love the fact that Murtaugh in that fight was like, "Come on, kid, get him, he's yours," and then he's like, "Come on, get up," and he's like, when he's throwing him the nightstick.
Yeah.
The whole police force is backing Riggs up. It's like if God forbid if Joshua killed Riggs, the whole police force would not.
Well, as you said in the previous episode, you did say that Riggs was supposed to have died in this.
In Part 2, he was supposed to die. Sorry to give that away, but
it was a shocking. It would have been a shocking
It
decision.
would have been awful due to the fact that in the TV series of Lethal Weapon that Damon Wayans was in and Clayne Crawford, the reason why, and this was the shocking thing, and I believe this was the reason why the series got cancelled, they killed off Riggs in season 2 because they said that Clayne Crawford, who played Riggs, was so difficult to work with on set. They said he would start fights, he would threaten people, and he had a monstrous.
Not good for team morale.
No.
You don't. It's a work environment. You go to work to work.
Enjoy.
Yes.
I mean, I've worked on sets myself. I mean, not blowing my own trumpet. I've worked on sets myself. Yeah. I've worked on sets myself. And you know one thing I enjoy the most when you're on certain sets? The good time that you have, the friendships you build, the keeping in touch with the people as well all along the way, like I've done with certain people whose names I shouted out on through there as well. And yeah, we still keep in touch even till today. But when you go on other sets and you're not happy there, you don't want to keep in touch with anybody. Yeah, you keep in touch with the people who's feeling the same pain as you, but you don't want to keep in touch with those who are causing it in the first place. That uncomfortableness.
You need to get rid of those people.
Yeah, you got to get rid of
causing bad vibes.
Oh, definitely, yeah. If like people have no validation to your life in any shape or form, then why do you need them? Exactly.
We're going into philosophy now.
Yes, we are. So we're going to be doing more episodes on that as well.
It's because of the long conversation we had earlier on the way here.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good conversation we had. The shock on
seeping into the episode.
The shock on this one's face was priceless.
I love these conversations, so it's good that
we
can have those now.
Yeah, we all do. So yeah, So what's happened now in Lethal Weapon 2? Back on topic. Was is the fact that they have to protect a star witness who's an accountant, and it's played by the great Joe Pesci, and his name's Leo Getz, and his catchphrase is always okay. And it's like when you look at him in this, it's hard to believe he went from that to playing Tommy DeVito in Goodfellas, which was literally, I think, about 2 years later.
Just shows you how good he is.
Oh, he was a great actor, Joe Pesci, and he still is. I mean, the guy can sing, he can act, and everything. But when you see him in movies like where he's playing the comedic role, then he's gone into a more serious role. You can tell this guy can do anything.
Yeah, that's the good thing about great actors.
Yeah,
great actors can do any. It's like musicians, right? If you've got a musician that can play any type of music, then they are just they're just an all-round great musician.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You get football players that can play any position.
Yeah.
And then you get actors that can play any acting role, comedy, drama, horror, all the types of movies that you can get. And when you can get those actors, I mean, that's why they're so legendary, because they can do anything.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And Joe Pesci
is one of them.
Sounded like he was one of them, but he was hilarious in this film. Leo Getz. He was just.
Actually, funny thing is, you said Leroy, and Riggs calls him that.
It's Leo.
It's not Leroy. It's Leo. And if you like, I'll buy another shirt. Okay.
He always does that, doesn't he?
Okay. The reason why they said that was the fact that Pesci, why he was like that, he goes, he went off to Disneyland at the time, and he was kind of researching it, and a lot of the employees there were saying the same thing. Okay. And he kind of incorporated that, because I think if he hadn't done that, that character would have been dull and boring.
Oh no, yeah.
It would have been dull and boring. It's like when you meet him for the first time, and the line Riggs and Murtaugh say in the hotel, and he's knocking on the door, and Riggs is like, "Police." He goes, "How do I know it's the police?" He goes, "How about I shoot you through the door and you can examine the bullet?" And then he starts saying the lines like, "Okay, bad cop, good cop. Shut up. Bad cop. Shut up." It's like they always tell him to shut up. He goes, "I'll take that room." He goes, "I got my stuff in that room." He goes, "Okay, I'm the smallest guy here. I'll take the small room."
It's like, what guns do you have? Remember he said,
"Yeah, you got an automatic."
He said, "You got an automatic." Every kid's got an automatic now, but you got an automatic.
And then he slaps him and falls.
And he said, "Don't touch me."
Yeah, and he slaps him and he falls on Murtaugh. And then
and Murtaugh's like, pushes him, and he's just in the middle like this, going, "He's like, just get your stuff.
You guys are supposed to protect me. What's up with you?" boy, and he's like fixing his hair up the whole time. And so I think in a way Joe Pesci stole the show in this movie.
Oh, he did.
He definitely did. And then one thing, what was really interesting about this was it was something that you didn't know about Riggs, and you find that out in part 2.
Yes. And
then you find out the guys thereafter have everything to do with what changed the course of his life.
Yeah. His wife.
Yeah, his wife. It's like you could tell in a way at the beginning when they go over to the main bad guy's house, Rod, and they go to Arian Rudd, played by Josh Auckland. They say, "You're Riggs." He goes, "Are you Martin Riggs?" The other guy goes, "You're Martin Riggs?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm Martin Riggs of the Chicago Riggs and all that stuff." And he's just being him in his sarcasm. And you've kind of figured out there and then
It's
that
history.
this guy had something to do with something. Does he know Riggs?
It's clever how they did that.
Yeah,
They unveiled
a
something.
little bit,
Yeah,
but not
a
all of
li-
it.
Yeah, yeah. You'll find more about that in the third one, right?
No, in the end of part 2,
Yeah.
towards part 2's ending, when they find out that this guy had something to do with Riggs' past.
Yeah, because we never really fully understand why he is the way he is.
Yeah.
And then until we get told about it.
Yeah, definitely. And then you find that out as well. And you're like, now you understand why this guy was after Riggs all this time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And I love one thing about the relationship Riggs now has with Murtaugh's family. They kind of welcomed him in. Because in a way, if you look at it, he saved their lives.
Yeah, but what I love about it as well is, so he's been welcomed into that family. But what I love about it is Murtaugh's wife. She is so empathetic towards him.
She is.
She's like a mother to him in a way.
I think more like a big sister.
A big sister.
I think more like a big sister, where it's like
because she sees, she kind of prides a bit to get Riggs to unveil certain things.
Yeah.
But she goes, I don't want to pry, but I want to know why. It's like the gold pen.
Yeah, that was it.
Why is it so? Why is it important to you? Something.
And then he explains it.
Riggs just goes off a huge. He explodes when he's cooking the chili, the big pot of chili.
Yeah.
He explodes with all this information, and she's like, "Whoa, that needed to be open." You think?
Yeah, well, when she goes as well, she goes, "I'm sorry."
Since he's never had that before.
Yeah, because he's never had somebody come up to him to talk to him about why
Other
are
than
you
his wife.
Yeah, why are you the way you are? Maybe the only person who did say it to him is no longer here anymore.
Yeah.
And now, because that kind of transitions into part 3 to a certain extent, where I know you haven't seen part 3 yet.
Yeah.
But Murtaugh's like planning on retiring, and Riggs doesn't want him to go because he goes, "You're now the only family I've got." He goes, "I've got 3 beautiful kids and I love them, but they're yours." He looks at Murtaugh's family like they're his own kids. And Trish welcomes him in. And it's so good the fact that throughout all the movies, it's the exact same actors playing the exact same kids.
That's fantastic.
It is.
Because you really get that.
Yeah, because it's like you've watched them grow up. It's like when you watch a TV series. It's like, for example, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah,
you watched, the one you recognise the most who grew up in front of you was Ashley, played by Tatiana Ali.
Yeah, she grew up into be a fine woman.
Beautiful lady, yeah. And Hillary, who played Karen Parsons, who played Hillary, she still looks exactly the same.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Carlton, he's still hilarious.
Yeah.
He still do that.
He's loving life, he is.
He can still do the dance.
Yeah, he's loving life, he is.
Sorry about that little Carlton dance attempt there, everybody.
Alfonso Rivera. That's his name, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Really nice fella.
He seems like a really nice fella as well. And so going back in Lethal Weapon, it was like that was one of the best scenes there, where Riggs you're learning a little bit about Riggs, but you don't learn a lot. But he learns more about himself towards the end when that guy reveals what he did to him.
Yes.
And then he goes about that gold pen. I found it there when I got the call that she had been hit in a car accident. I fell down. I found this gold pen. I had this voice going in my head saying, get up now." And then I took this gold pen and I went over to the hospital. I signed out her papers with this pen. And then Murtaugh comes and goes, "Oh yeah, Trish found a gold pen in the laundry." And they're both looking at each other. She's like, "Don't worry, I'll keep it quiet. I'll keep it quiet. You can talk to me."
Yeah, there you go.
Because she's actually a novelist.
Yeah, she is in the film, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a novelist.
So because of that, because of her writing and her creative mind,
Yeah.
right? Creative people, I think they're just, as we know, there's something about creative people that they've got that. Writers, especially fictional writers, they're so embedded in emotions because they have to be. Because when you create a character, you have to know about emotions. Because when you're writing a certain scene, you have to know about what that character's feeling.
Yeah.
So you have to immerse yourself in that feeling to know what that character's feeling. And one of her characters in the books probably felt the same as Riggs did, so she knew what he was feeling.
Yeah, she was. I mean, yeah, she's so. That's
She's a great woman in the film.
She's great. She's great. And one thing I liked about the scene where those guys break into the house and they tie up Murtaugh and his wife.
Yeah, that's a scary moment.
It was a scary moment, especially for. And he goes, "Do you want to know what we did with your kids and all that?" He goes, "I'd be going mad. This is a warning. Next time, it's going to get bloody. You tell your people to back off." And then the kids run into the room. That's quite shocking to see them. And like even Murtaugh's son is like kind of comforting his dad, and his dad's a big guy. He's like 6'2".
Yeah, big lad, man.
He's a big guy, Danny Glover. And but one thing
what it was like when he was in his 20s and 30s.
Yeah,
Lethal.
hence the Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, that's Riggs though, isn't it?
Yeah, and same. Now he's like in his 70s in real life, Danny Glover. And now what was interesting, the very next scene. The next day where they film, goes, Riggs asking, "Are the kids all right?" There's Trisha. He goes, "Did you get them out?" He goes, "Yeah, I sent them over to their sister's house for a week. I even gave the carpenter a week off as well." As well, you did the right thing. And then he's like, and then then all the police force around there backing him up. They're like, "You hear what happened to him last night?" He goes, "Yeah, are you all right?" And he goes, "Yeah, you need anything?" They're all saying, "You need anything? We're here for you."
But then you realise that it's not just them it's happening to, it's everyone in the police force.
Yeah,
because
they're getting away with it.
Yeah, that's what I love about. I mean, we'll talk about this scene, but the captain is incredible. He's incredible in this film. He shows leadership in this. But we're going to get to that.
Yeah,
we're going to get to that.
Yeah, because he says that right there and then when he goes to Riggs and Murtaugh. "I need you to go protect this key witness. He's at this hotel here. Go there, have a few nights off, and everything's all paid for. So go do what you're doing."
Yes.
And Murtaugh and Riggs
they're not happy about it though.
Then he goes, "It's a boring assignment." He goes, "I don't care, Riggs. You're doing this."
He controls Riggs, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's what I love about you. If you can control someone like Riggs, there's something special about you, because Riggs don't like being controlled.
He's a fuse.
Yeah, he's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah,
but if you can keep that time bomb ticking, and keep him on your side, oh dear, you're on your way, aren't you? If you have a person like Riggs on your team,
you're sorted.
You don't need
anyone, because he's the original Lethal Weapon.
You're like, okay, yeah, send Riggs, and they're like, oh crap.
It's like even in that scene at the beginning. This was one of my favourite scenes when they're having the car chase, and it's that new car they've brought, and all they're saying is all along, "It's a new car. It's my wife's car." And then and then all the police force are betting. What's going on? Because Riggs and Murtaugh, but Murtaugh's driving the wife's. They're placing bets who can catch this guy first. And then he's driving his wife's car. "Oh, forget it. Give me the money back. It's too late now. You already paid." And Murphy's like, "Shut up! I want to hear what's going on the radio." Remember, because back then there was no internet. There was all radio.
It was just radio. That's the thing. It was just, there was no other way to get information other than newspapers and radio.
There were no tablets, no smartphones back then.
And TV. Those were
we didn't have these back in the day.
No. I didn't have them when I was a kid, and I'm glad that I didn't grow up with these.
Same here.
So that's the thing about those days. You didn't have the only media that you had was TV, radio, and obviously papers,
newspapers.
Yeah. So the captain was obviously trying to listen to the radio, and everybody's putting bets on who if it's going to get the guy first. And he was like, "Just shut up and try to listen to what's going on."
It was hilarious.
But I love. This was a great start to the film, obviously, wasn't it?
Because you can tell it's going to be nothing but action.
Yeah, and that's what I loved about it. So obviously at the start of the film, they're after somebody, and Riggs and Murtaugh are trying to. Riggs is like, "Oh, I said, faster, go faster." It's like, "Going as fast as I can." It's like, "And I love this job." And Murtaugh's like,
bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
He's like,
what is wrong with this guy? He's like, "What is wrong with you?" It's like, "Come on, go faster, faster."
Riggs is like he's like a.
It's his eyes. He's like, "Faster."
He's like a Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, yeah.
The best way of just... Funny thing is, in the beginning of that, you kind of hear the Looney Tunes theme here happening. And it's like jumping into this Looney Tune, and it's Riggs. And who do you see first? Riggs. And he's screaming like a Tasmanian devil. And he's like,
I love this job.
Or the other scene where he climbs out of the windscreen and he's running after the guy.
It's like, Riggs, what are you doing? It's like,
and what was also, then he grabs the back of the red BMW. He goes, you have the right to remain silent. And then he's falling. He's like, the guy spins and he throws Riggs off the roof, the back of the car.
Murtaugh's like, Riggs, will you get in the car?
He goes, oh, you let me drive.
He's like,
get your slow ass in the car, Riggs.
He's like, move over, I'm driving. He steps through the window. He doesn't open the door.
No, he does.
Oh, he does.
To get back into the car.
Yeah, it's like, move over. It's like, but Murtaugh is still sitting there. And it's like, move over. It's like, what are you doing? Man, it's my wife's car. What are you doing? It's my car. It's like, I'll catch this guy. And then he drives like, and then he goes over the pavement.
Yeah.
And Murtaugh's like, it's to Riggs. It's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, we'll be fine. It's like, it's not going to fit. And obviously he ruins the...
Scratches the car. Yeah, you're right. It's not, it is. And he scratches, Riggs, it's my car. He's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right, it's not going to fit.
Murtaugh's got that. The way Murtaugh looks at him is hilarious. He just goes,
yeah,
I'm really going to punch your lights out, Riggs.
Oh, that was hilarious.
But, you know,
great start to the film.
Oh, it was. But what was also funny was, the straitjacket scene.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He dislocates the shoulder. Funny thing is, he doesn't do it in part 1. In part 2, 3, and 4, he does this, but the worst injury he suffers is in part 4. That's what I'm going to tell you. Wait till you watch it.
Well, I can't wait to watch that.
Okay. And so moving on to Joe Pesci, Leo Getz, and he's explaining.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'll get on to that. Okay. And then what was even funny was Joe Pesci's character. He explains how money laundering works.
Yeah.
And he's like, you guys are not very bright, are you? And he says that. He goes, you just got your badges, and he goes, and Riggs is like, oh, you need to clean that. He goes, when Riggs is cleaning his gun, and he's like, you need to go, oh, do you like breathing? Get off me.
I love that part. It's just, oh man, it's just he just brightens the series.
He does, to tell you the truth. I mean, like when it was at that time, Gibson had just moved from Australia to there, and he had a proper Australian accent. I was watching an interview with him, like, when they were interviewing him on the original Lethal Weapon, and he's like, so how did you get this role here? He's like, well, I'll try and do an Australian accent. And he goes, well, I was living down in Australia, and my wife was like saying to me, oh, you should really take this job, Mel. I was like, what, this job right here? You got to go over to America and do that, but I'm Australian and everything, but my daughter always believes every morning that Daddy's going off to do some special work, and I'm going to beat people up and everything, and she'd say that's my attempt at doing Australian accent. Australian.
Oh.
I'm not exactly Paul Hogan from Crocodile Dundee, but
you think that's a knife?
This is a knife. That's not a knife.
That's not a knife.
That's a knife.
That's a knife.
The funny thing is, in part 2, when the guy goes, empty your pockets, and he pulls out that knife, and the guy himself goes, now that's a knife.
Yeah. Yes, you think that's a knife? Yes.
That's a knife.
That's a knife.
Knife.
It's like, okay, I'll back off.
Right.
Don't mess with, you do not mess with Crocodile Dundee.
Mick Dundee. Alright, so
we should review that.
Oh, we're definitely going to do that. It's going to be on the next. I think that should be the next trilogy. No, one of the next trilogies.
Yeah.
Because we have a Stallone trilogy to do. Well, a Stallone saga we're going to do next.
Third.
We're
going on a tangent here.
Yeah.
So the third Crocodile Dundee.
Dundee. Yes.
Came out in 2001.
That's a long jump. But then again, if you look at Top Gun 1, 1986.
30 odd years old.
And then you had the recent Top Gun come out, I believe it was this year.
Yeah, it was.
It's a massive, huge jump between an original and a sequel.
They've probably been working on the story for so long, and it was was just kept kept hidden and brought out when they needed it. It's like, right, we'll add bits to it. Because some films take a long time to write and to complete, because with a film like that, where are you going to go with it?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, sagas are easy because it's planned.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But when a first film ends and there's no continuation to it,
yeah,
what are you gonna do? So that's why it takes long, because to bring out a sequel to a very successful film,
yeah,
you've got to do something special.
You have to. It has to be just as, if not even more.
Yeah.
It's like The Godfather. People actually prefer part 2 more than part 1.
Wow. Well, it just shows you how much work they put into it.
We got to review The Godfather.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for you, everyone's in, I'll do a few impressions of Marlon Brando's character in that movie. Done. That's a done deal. You hear me say it, I will do it. And I'm saving the De Niro and Pacino impressions for when we do Heat. Hoo-ah. That's
right, back to the topic.
Back to Lethal Weapon. Okay, so here's some behind the scenes stuff that you're going to be funny about. Did you know during production, Richard Donner was very shocked that Mel Gibson could find that he was drinking 5 pints of beer for breakfast, and despite his alcohol problems, Gibson was known for his professionalism and his punctuality. Yeah.
Mel Gibson is very, very. He loves what he does.
So definitely does. Yeah.
So I don't think he will ever let alcohol get in the way.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
Of a good film.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And then.
I've got one.
Go for it.
So this is gonna unveil both of our favourite scenes.
Go for it.
Right. The scene where Mel Gibson attaches cables to the stilts of the mountaintop house,
yeah,
and pulls it down, cost over $500,000.
Wow, for that one scene.
Dollars.
Wow, you got an Addy reaction.
What? Yeah, that is. So the budget of the film,
yeah,
was $15 million.
So
that cost a small piece of that pie.
Definitely.
That one scene. But it was a big scene. It was
most definitely was.
Part of the story. Because Riggs wants to really get these guys, because they've done a lot of crap to him, haven't they?
Yeah,
they ruined his life.
Yeah, and he found out about it.
So, but that's a badass scene.
Oh,
that's one of my favourite scenes.
Most definitely was, yeah.
Because I love it when Riggs says, what does Riggs say to Murtaugh?
I'm not a cop tonight, this is personal.
Yeah, but about the house, where he goes...
he goes, Murtaugh goes to him, you're not going to the effing stilt house.
He goes, they're coming to me.
The stilt house is going to come to me. I loved it. And he goes, wait for my sign. What's that? He goes, somehow I know
you'll find out.
Yeah, somehow I know what it is.
Murtaugh's like, oh man.
And then, so one other thing I liked about it, the friendship they build with Leo. At first, I don't like him because he never shows up.
I can't stand the guy.
Then he's like, the scene from the subway when they get the sandwiches, and he goes, this is Joe Pesci, everybody. He goes, hey guys, this is tuna. I hate tuna. I refuse to be stuck with tuna. He goes, don't eat the tuna. He goes, where were you a few seconds ago? You see, they screw you in the drive-thru. They screw you. Who gets you? And they're both like, shut up! Will you shut up? And then. But one thing I like, this scene after they've been to the consul at the embassy, the South African embassy, and there's a riot.
I love that.
And then he goes, Pesci's like, oh no, he's here. And he's like, Alphonse, come here.
Yeah.
While Riggs goes upstairs and handles everything there.
Yeah.
And what was quite funny was the scene where he goes, the guy behind the consul, he goes, sir, listen to your friend. He knows what he's talking about.
You're black.
He goes, and the way Pesci goes, well, you are. Yeah, he is. And he goes,
you are, yes.
And he's copying everything. He goes, you dumb SOB. He goes, you dumb SOB. And that was funny. And then the scene where he goes, when they're in the car, and then he goes, Riggs goes, what happened? And he goes, oh, you should have heard him. He was like this, but you're black. They just start laughing right there. And
Yeah, they laugh with him.
Yeah, that's what we
So
did.
they were warming to him. They were like, this guy isn't so bad after all.
Yeah.
Because they despised him at first.
They
right?
hated him, all that stuff.
Did not, and to be honest, I wouldn't have liked him either if he was real. He would have really grinded my gears, people like that.
But imagine if he was Tommy DeVito.
Yeah. That's different, really. But it's like, but if he was real, right?
Yeah.
I love it's realistic. If you had a guy like that in your life,
Yeah.
he didn't show it, he just kept going on and on and on, and you'd be like, for God's sake, will you just be quiet now, please? You give me a headache.
We've known a few people.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah,
we have.
So I've known quite a few. And this person, I swear to God, it's nobody, you know,
Okay.
and this person could
Okay,
talk.
okay.
Yeah. This person could talk for not just England. They could talk for all of Europe and then extend to the rest of the world.
Wow. Okay, that's wow. Yeah.
And then it's like
They should do a World Cup of naggers.
no. Better things to do at that time, everybody. Yeah. So as I was mentioning, you know how Pesci got the okay thing. It was based on going to Disneyland employees, and they were giving directions to the guest at the Fantasyland. And originally he was going to be a very oily, affirmative character, but Pesci didn't want to play him that way. He pitched the idea of him being too eager to please and completely okay ad libs. And he said that to Richard Donner, and he laughed at it so much. He goes, do that and do that. Don't tell me anything else. Just do it the way you can do it. And he played it well. I think if he played him any other way,
no, it wouldn't have been the same.
It wouldn't be the same.
That character, the character wouldn't have got as much love as he did.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have been shot into stardom if he did it another way.
Yeah.
Because that was just, the character was. I loved the character development.
Yeah.
I loved how much time it took for Riggs and Motard to fall in love with the guy, because they fell in love with him. They adored him. They were like, God, this guy is incredible. This guy is unbelievable. It's just one of these things where you go, right, okay. They don't like him at first, like you said. They hated him at first, because, like I said, I would have hated him too. But they warmed to him.
Yeah.
And they were like, right, okay, this guy has really helped us. You know what? We'll give him a chance.
Yeah. And
it's like they did.
It's like that scene.
Especially when he hugged Motard. It was like
it was even the scene before that, you know, when they kidnap him, and he's like, oh my God, Leo, they've kidnapped him. He's like, Murtaugh's kind of developed that care for him. And then when Riggs meets him there, and he goes, they've got Leo, we've got to be careful. And he goes in there, they're beating him up quite bad. And then Murtaugh just jumps in there and saves him.
Yeah,
and the smile on his face was priceless.
Yeah, it was a nice scene, wasn't it?
It was a good scene.
It was a really.
He was
really
glad to see him. He's come to save my life.
Yeah, and you could tell that the guy's never really had any of that in his life.
That's why
he's probably a people pleaser, because he's always been, because of his. I mean, let's admit it again. You know, the guy's quite bloody annoying.
Yeah.
So when you're a kid and you're that kind of person, going into teenagehood, going into adulthood, you're not going to be liked very much.
No.
People don't like a kiss ass, do they?
They're a people pleaser.
Yeah, they don't like a kiss ass, right? But only egotistical people, right, like narcissists, like kiss asses, because it makes them feel good.
Yeah.
They're not really their friends. So
they take advantage of an individual.
So he's probably had advantage taken of him for a long time. Then all of a sudden, he has people that don't really like him very much, but they're being truthful to him. Yeah. And they're like...
He's getting a first dose of honesty.
And so that's why he has to take time to realise what's going on. And then he does calm down a lot in the film. If you notice, he calms down a little bit. And then they go, actually, you know what, this guy's not so bad. And one of my favourite scenes another one, is when he hugs Motard.
Yeah.
And then it's like, he hugs him and he's like, oh, thanks for being there for me, guys. And Motog doesn't like it at first, but then he goes, actually, you know what, you know, and then he hugs him, and then he goes to hug Riggs, and Riggs is like this, no, get away from me.
And Murtaugh's, I'll just
Just get the little guy a hug.
I give him a little hug.
Give the little guy a hug.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, Joe, come in, man. Riggs is like, yeah, bring it in.
Yeah, bring it in. And then he's like, hey, guys, is it alright if I sign the siren on the way there? He's like,
yeah.
Loud as you want.
Yeah, so that, they love him, they love the guy.
But in part 3, he's actually a lot more...
Is it part 3?
No, in part 2, but in part 3, he's gone down a different direction now. He's become Pesci's character.
Oh, he's in fact, awesome! I didn't know it was in. Just shows you how long I've watched it for.
Yeah, so part 3 is actually a lot better than part 2 in my opinion. I believe.
Well, Leo Getz is in it. So.
And then you have Renee Russo coming in it as well.
Ooh, she's
such a beautiful lady.
She is.
She still is. Bless her.
Back then.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, enough of that.
And so okay.
It's a good name as well, Renee Russo.
Oh yeah.
It's a cool name.
It is.
Renee.
So did you know out of all the lethal?
I name my kids now.
What, Renee Russo?
No, Renee.
Renee. Yeah. Okay. That could work. And okay. So moving on to another one as well is so did you know this was actually the highest body count of all the Lethal Weapon movies?
Oh, there was only 2 then, wasn't there? Oh, it what? Okay, out of when
all
the films came out, this was the
together,
highest.
They still had the highest body count.
But it was a very action-packed film.
Oh, it definitely was. And then you had and then you had the what do you call it? Did you? Here's another scene. Did you know there was quite a few deleted scenes in the movie?
Only a few.
There was a few. There was one where after they got out of the police station and they saw Murtaugh's car, he was saying, "Oh, you got to order parts. You got to do this." And then he brings it home, and the son Nick goes, "Dad, what did you do? This is a new car. Mom's gonna go mad at you." He gives him money. He goes, "Shut your mouth and don't say anything." That was one.
They should have kept that.
They should have kept that. I think they did keep that bit.
There's no pause. There's no interruption in the story. And the only time a director will do that if there's an interruption and slows down the pace of the film.
Definitely.
They should have kept that. That's great.
And there was another scene where, before it builds up to the house on the stills, and I like the scene where he goes, "Wait, come to think of it, they took me to a house, had stills, and the guy's name was Hans.
Yeah. That's when they knew where to go.
Yeah, and then what was also the continuation of that scene was beforehand they were looking around. They went to so many places. He goes, I don't remember the address. I just remember what it looked like. And he goes, all right. In the scene where they pulled off, and Leo pulls out his calculator and he goes, he's trying to add up to 9. He goes, 9 is my lucky number. I was born on the 9th day of the 9th month of this, that, and the other. And then he explains, okay, that's why 9 is my lucky number. And Murtaugh moans and goes, this is the 9th possibility, Leo. He goes, so there you go, 9, that's my lucky number and everything. That was that scene. There was another scene where they go to the hotel and there were these 3 beautiful ladies in the jacuzzi. And Riggs is just eyeing them all up and they're eyeing him.
As he does.
Yeah, and they're checking him out as well.
Oh yeah, man. Look, the guys are good looking in the film.
Mel Gibson, he was in good shape back then as well. And then he was talking to them and he goes, hey, can any of you cook anything? And then they were like, why don't you come and join us and all that stuff? And then they were saying to Murtaugh, why don't you come and join us as well? And he's like, no, I'm married, but thanks for the offer. But Murtaugh is always like, the reason why they teamed these 2 guys up together, because Riggs kind of needed the older brother / father figure in his life.
That's great.
Oh, look, a surprise cameo.
Hey!
I'm bringing in the sweet treats. You know, the cinema is not complete without annoying food.
What, the crunchies?
The crunchies,
The
yes.
crunchies.
Yeah, so you can... We can't listen to any dialogues. That's my cameo appearance done for today.
That's Tal's.
Tal's like our Leo Getz. Okay.
Okay.
Go on, say it, Tal. You gotta come here and say the line. Like this. Okay.
Okay.
Now leave! It's our show now.
Yeah. Well, then again, the T means Tal's, so technically it is his podcast. So I'm going to make it point. For those who don't know what the AAT'S podcast means, it means Addy, Aiden, and Tal's podcast. That's what it means. So there you go. All in the clear now. So he had every right to jump in.
Thank you, Tal.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I'm listening. I'm enjoying it. Carry on.
He's here for moral support.
Yeah.
And food support.
And
as well.
food.
And food supply, yes.
Anyway, as you
Funny
said.
thing is, it's kind of he's just kind of paid. Not sorry to go off topic. He's kind of just paid homage to Quentin Tarantino. If you look at every Tarantino movie, what does he make so applicable? Food. When he shows food, whether it's a burger and fries or a diner scene, it makes you want to try the food. That particular food. Why? Because he makes it look so interesting. And he's just kind of pulled that homage up to Mr. Tarantino.
But that's how we do it. That's the whole point of being a storyteller. You tell the story.
Yes, you
And
do.
story is not complete without basic necessities. That also includes food. It's a human perception.
Food is life. So without food,
You
you're
can't
dead.
live.
You're dead. You don't want to die yet.
Just the beginning.
This is the beginning of life.
Yes. So,
Oh
yeah.
dear.
So it goes
Let's
back-
not start this.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to save that for another.
Let's not start this then.
How about we say that when the camera's on? Alright, so because it does get kind of weird, and everybody will be like this.
What is happening? Why have these guys changed all of a sudden?
I think
Now
it's
let's go back to topic now.
It's an Easter egg. It's a hidden subliminal message for what's about to come.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
Back to the. Thanks for the cameo appearance. Alright. And also, okay, so did you know Danny DeVito was up for the role of Leo Getz?
Oh, really?
Yeah, yes, got the Riley reaction out of him. Yeah, Danny.
That would.
I think he would have been okay, but compare him to Joe Pesci, he wouldn't have not pulled it off very well.
That wouldn't have been. That would have been rubbish.
Then again, a few years later, he went off to play the Penguin in Batman.
Yeah, but Leo Getz would have been rubbish.
I think he would have been. I think he would have been. He would have been very underrated.
Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
like
did
Danny
you?
DeVito.
Yeah, he's a great
I
actor.
love Twins. Not Frank Jr. That's a weird film. But Twins is brilliant. I loved him in that.
Oh, we're definitely doing.
I liked him in Matilda as well. Matilda.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
But Joe Pesci, he's just.
Because he's got that.
He's got
that great spark about him.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll say this one thing: if you like him
He's
as
explosive as
yeah,
well.
true. But if you like him as Leo Getz, wait until you see him in Michaels and Vinny. Wait till you see him.
We're
in
going to
that
review
movie.
that.
And like you're going to be rooting for him all through the movie. There's so much great real life references in there. There's so much proper ad lib. Most of that movie was actually ad libbed.
Wow.
Got another reaction out of him. The Riley
So
reaction.
it was a lot of improv.
Most of it was, yeah, to tell you the
But
truth.
that's the thing about Joe Pesci. You found that out, right? You could see that a lot of that. So I'll bet you anything, right?
Yeah.
He would have done a lot of ad lib in that film
Oh, he did.
because you can tell what's scripted and what isn't.
Yeah.
How it just appears natural,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I love about when you watch a film. You know how much effort's gone into it, right? You know how much
Definitely,
effort's
yeah,
gone
yeah.
into it. But when the film's been improvised, a lot of the times you go, wow, that's when talent comes into it. That's when talent is truly shown, when they can improvise. Because the brain is just naturally gifted for that kind of industry.
Oh, it is definitely true. I agree
That's
with
when the
you.
true passion. That's when
It's your passion coming into play.
Yeah, that's when the love of the thing comes into play because your mind is fixated, it's obsessed with it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's where passion comes from. It's an obsession. It's what keeps you alive.
Definitely. And okay, so did you know there was another scene? There was going to be an alternate scene where there was going to be a Thanksgiving dinner, kind of similar to part one, where Riggs and the girl Rika, played by Patsy Kensit. Did you know she was actually married to one of the Gallagher brothers from Oasis in real life?
Whoa,
Yeah,
that's another one.
Got another reaction, and Tal's reactions off camera, everybody, and his eyebrows just shot up to the top of his
And
head.
he nodded like that. That's you have the Tal
Yes.
reaction.
Well, to be honest, Liam Gallagher is one of the greatest rock stars ever. It's the attitude that makes him. Plus, he has a different twang in his voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got a don't care attitude.
Yeah.
That's what I
what you
like
need.
about him. One of my favorite comedians. Well, I've got two.
Yeah.
One of them is Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The other one is Dave Chappelle.
Oh, Dave
Oh, yeah,
Chappelle's
yeah.
legend.
Yes. He don't care of anything, man.
Yes.
That's what I love, and it's very rare that you find comedians like that now because it's so restricted. Anyway, as we're saying.
Yes. Thank you. So, right, let's go on to favourite scenes now.
Yeah.
What was your favourite scene?
Can I read this trivia
Go
out?
for it. Go for
It's
it.
pretty long, so I apologise.
That's all right. Take your time.
So, although many people thought that their script was brilliant, Warner Brothers and producers, including Silver and director Richard Donner, however, disagreed with Black's decision to kill off Riggs' character in the ending because they wanted to keep him alive for future sequels, and they also thought that Black and Murphy's script was way too bloody and dark, and they wanted a lighter, more comedic script, while their draft was completely serious and it focused more on courage and heroics, like Riggs coming full circle from the way he was in the first film, and how his relationship with Murtaugh and his family brought him back to life and into the real world, helping him to let his guard down and learn to accept the love of real people. In Black's version of the script, it's the very love that makes Riggs willing to die to protect them. So that's the first part of this 4-part trivia.
Yeah.
What do you think about that so far?
I think in a way they did the right thing, because how can you kill off a character like Martin Riggs? It's like killing off Dirty Harry himself. If you killed him off in part 2 or 3 of any movie, nobody would want to bother with that franchise
Dirty
ever
Harry
again,
was
because they developed a lot of love for that character. It's like killing off the original Mad Max. It's like if you killed off the original Mad Max at the end of part 1 or part 2, whatever you call it.
Or killing Woody from Toy Story.
Yeah, exactly. And that Woody from Toy Story, that's a big jump. And
I know, yeah, well, it's true.
but come to think of it, I see where they were
Buzz
coming from.
Lightyear.
Because did you know at the end, I can't remember if I told you this when we reviewed part 1, did you know at the end, the original ending of Lethal Weapon 1 was to have Riggs and Murtaugh go their own separate ways?
Yeah, that would have been rubbish.
Murtaugh would have gone into retirement, Riggs would have just gone back to the previous
So
department.
what was the point in that?
Yeah, exactly. So
There's no sequel to that.
yeah, it's good. I mean, I like the fact that, because if you look at it throughout the movie, Riggs, he's definitely developed a family with Murtaugh's family.
Yeah.
They've welcomed him in. They let him cook in the house. They invite him round for dinner.
Chili with Oreos.
Yeah,
That's a very weird decision.
No, they were just making it. It was just like a prop for
Do you-
the camera.
Yeah, but it does actually say in the film, would you like, do you like Oreos with chili to Murtaugh's wife?
Yeah.
And yeah. No.
Just off subject, there's an offshoot idea just came into my mind by listening to you both talking about food.
Yes.
Since Adi has the food platform, why don't we try once a week a dish that you really liked in one of the movies, add your touch to it?
Oh.
Why not? We'll call it the AAT'S podcast food review.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, well, yeah, that's a good thing we keep in the pipeline. Thanks.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
a good, that's a good suggestion.
I could do the impression of John Travolta in Pulp Fiction when he's having the milkshake. And he goes, $5 shake. That's milk and ice cream. Just checking. And then he's like,
Yeah.
or De Niro, you could say the De Niro line from The Heat. The guy, coffee, sir? Please.
Yeah.
Okay,
like
that's a good idea.
If we're going to, let's say, review Transporter, right?
Yeah. Madeleine. Sorry, Will, if I haven't got the word right, I do apologise.
So there was a scene when Jason, he is eating burger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That means that Adi has to make a burger.
Oh, pretty please, let me do it.
Oh,
You
you're
see
the
where
chef of the group.
Yeah.
All right, fine, I'll do it. But I have to make a pescatarian version for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if we're doing the Avengers, Infinity
Shawarma.
War, that'll be shawarma, yes, and the other one is peanut butter sandwich.
Yes.
And here's one you didn't know. This is really going to be blueberries.
How?
Did you know?
Blueberries.
Okay. Did you know there's a scene where? Sorry, jumping on to the Avengers. The scene where Banner and Stark are on the helicarrier, and Rogers walks in, and Stark actually has a pack of blueberries with him. He's brought. In real life, what happened was Robert Downey Jr. put food all around the place because he didn't improvise it into the movie. He was just hungry, and it worked.
It's just
It's so good. Yes,
See, I
it
got
works.
2 reactions out of 2 people in
works.
one go.
So food is a must.
It's a must. Yes, it's a must. Okay.
Right. So
Your favourite scene.
right. So I'll continue with this trivia.
Yeah, go for it.
Right. So you think they did a good you
I think they did a better job not killing off Riggs.
Yeah, of course. Right. So second part. Other parts from Black and Murphy's script which were changed or left out of the final version of the script include Leo Getz being a minor character. Wow, and having only one scene and a few lines of dialogue. That's terrible.
Yeah.
A lot more violence throughout, like South African villains who were even more vicious in the original script than in the final film. Torturing Shapiro, police officer working with Briggs and Murtaugh. Whoa. As the one who was killed by a bomb in the pool in the film to death in a very nasty scene. But so she was tortured by South African gang. There was also a scene where Riggs is tortured by South Africans in a similar way, like he was in the first film. But much worse. The script also included an action sequence in which a plane full of cocaine gets destroyed, causing for cocaine to fall all over Los Angeles like snow.
Yeah.
That would have been a poor choice.
Yes, I agree.
So I am I am so glad that having Leo Getz demoted as a major character. I'm so glad that they didn't make that choice because he was one of the key successes to the film.
He was.
He freshened it up. He freshened the whole thing up. You can't have Murtaugh and Riggs all the time because the two are great characters. They're amazing. Without them, you won't have Lethal Weapon. But Leo Getz is just.
He's just next level of humour.
It's
like because if you look at it, Murtaugh he's serious, Riggs he's a loose cannon, and Leo he's just the comic relief out of the three of them.
Because
I mean, even Riggs is hilarious.
Riggs is he's explosive, isn't he?
Definitely.
He's unpredictable, but he's intense. Murtaugh is laid back. And he's just chilled. He's like, I'm getting too old for this shit. He says that a lot, doesn't he? I'm getting too old for this.
He does.
He says that. How many times does he say it?
He says it throughout. I just can't wait for part 5 where they'd say it again.
Oh God, they're both too old for this shit now.
That's still in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
But like what was funny was, in real life, any person who comes up to Danny Glover, they say to him, could you please say the line from Lethal Weapon? And it's always that one, I'm too old for this shit. Because no, say it like he said it in the movie. It's like they come up to Arnold and say I'll be back. And he goes, I'll be back. He goes, say how you said it in the movie, I'll be back.
And then he goes, that's $50.
Yeah.
Right, so the third part.
Go for it.
The ending of the script included a climatic battle which took place on hills engulfed with a big bushfire. And after the destruction of the still house, Riggs chases Benedict, original name of the villain, Peter Vorstead, from the movie. It was different and a lot more dangerous in the original script. And Riggs to his arch nemesis, which he is in the other one, his worst nightmare, as Black himself said, into the fire. After the final battle with Benedict, Riggs dies very slowly after he gets stabbed by him. The last scene in Black's script was Murtaugh watching the videotape that Riggs made earlier, since he had a premonition that he was going to die, and in which he says his goodbyes to Murtaugh.
Oh, no, awful.
No.
It sounds awful just even hearing it, I'll be honest with you.
That's why I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's good because how Lethal Weapon 2 was made, if you watch the director's cut, it's even a bit better. And it's like they got it right. They got it right the way it was. You can't kill off Riggs, just like you can't kill off Murtaugh.
No, and you can't demote Leo Getz to a minor character.
You can't because he was just such a great relief. It's right what you said. They livened it up because without him, I don't think that movie would have worked well.
No, well, it would have worked, but not as good.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, moving
So,
on. Okay,
That's part of the trivia.
yeah.
Following the studio's negative reaction on his script and their demands for massive rewrites, Shane Black left the project after 6 months, earning only $125,000 only for his work, and never worked on any of the other sequels. Black said in later years in interviews how he considers his original script for Lethal Weapon 2, which was also called Play Dirty, to his best work and most intense script he has written, and how, other than the scene where Stillhouse gets destroyed, his script was completely different than the one used for filming. He also said how the problem with the final version of the second movie was that they did too much comedy, and how he dislikes the other two sequels of the film because of the way they ruined Riggs' character. No, I think he's just bitter.
I think he was being a bit bitter. I mean, Shane Black, he was mainly famous for being in the Predator movies, and he was famous for filming I think it was Predators. He directed that movie, and he also directed the third Iron Man movie.
Well, that's a good film.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I like Iron Man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's Tony Stark. What do you expect?
It's
And
Robert Downey Jr.
yeah, and
I'm a dude that's playing the dude that's played by another dude. Whoever's watched Tropic Thunder would know about that scene.
I need to watch that movie myself. I've been recommended by yourself.
It's incredible, man.
Yeah. Moving on to favourite scenes. What was your favourite?
Okay. So, right, let me get this.
All right, favourite scene and favourite dialogue.
All right. Well, you know my one. Is that okay? That's a favourite scene. That's a favourite quote. Another one as well is when the carpenter was there.
Yeah.
Riggs and Murtaugh go visit him, don't they?
Yeah.
And he's like, he pulls the nail gun.
Yeah.
And they go, down. It's like, wait, what are you doing? Why you got your guns out for? Trying to give me a heart attack?
check my shorts.
Check my shorts. I love that. But when Murtaugh is up there,
yeah,
right, a guy comes behind him through the film.
Yeah,
grabs him in his neck, and he's trying to. Oh, he's always trying to kill him. He grabs the gun and shoots him with it.
Yeah,
kills him, and Murtaugh falls to the floor because he's exhausted. And he goes, nailed it.
that was a good scene. Like, my favourite scene is when because it had more. I would say it had less action but more drama to it. It was a scene where Vorstead is admitting to Riggs what he did to his wife, and then you see that beast coming out of Riggs even more, and it's like Riggs is going to make this guy pay, and you can't wait for him to make him pay.
You can see it because his eyes are like this.
Yeah, and he goes to him. He goes, "You know so much about me. Who are you?" And he goes, "A few years ago, you were a narcotics officer, and you tried to bust us at Long Beach, and we put a hit out on you, but it was the wrong person we hit. We pulled back this blood-soaking hair, and it was your wife. She didn't die instantly. It took a bit of work.
Yeah.
Because I'm the reason the cause of your life got changed."
Yeah. And Riggs' face when he says that, oh my gosh.
And my other favourite scene is what he says. He goes, "I'm not a cop tonight, Raj. It's personal." Yeah. And then he goes, "You can't go to the still house." "Well, the still house is coming to me."
And it does.
He pulls the whole thing down.
But again, as we go back, it goes, you I'll send you a signal. It's like, and he walks off and he runs off and says, "Wait, Riggs, I don't know what the signal is." He goes, "Trust me, you'll know."
Yeah.
And as Murtaugh's like, "For some reason, I know I will." it's just that he knows him now. He just knows him.
He does.
All right, so Another one is that was one of my favourite
Okay,
scenes. So we're talking about favourite scenes, yeah, not favourite quotes.
Yeah.
All right. So another favourite scene is Captain Murphy, right? So when we know a lot of this gang is just picking off so many police officers that are involved in their operation, right?
Yeah.
So they're picking off everybody, and then everybody's in panic. Everybody at the office is panicking, and Captain Murphy takes two of the guys, and he goes, "Okay," and he tells them, and they go, "Wait a minute, what are we gonna do? This guy's dead, she's dead.
Yeah.
How are we gonna do it?" And he says to them, "Look, guys, just shut up. They're dead. There's nothing we can do. What matters now is who we can protect. That's what we need to do now, and that's what we need to focus on. Now do it. It's time for control." And they look at each other and go, "Yes, sir." And they walk off. And I'm like, this guy's a badass.
Yeah, he's got it because he doesn't want to lose any more.
Yeah, we're not going to lose any more guys. And you're like, holy crap. You know, I know he's the captain. I know he's supposed to have this, but sometimes you have a person in the job that just isn't supposed to be there.
No.
You go, how did he get that job? But he's leader.
Yeah, he shows his authority.
He shows leadership and control. And that was a really awesome scene, I think. And great dialogue. Great dialogue. No one else is going to die tonight. I love it when he says that.
Yeah, I love that bit as well. One of my favourite scenes is where Riggs and Murtaugh are going towards the crater, and then Murtaugh goes, "Right, there's three of them. I'll kill two, you kill one." He goes, "Then again, you kill two, I'll kill one." So that was a really funny scene. That was because it was like Murtaugh's saying the same thing again. "I'm too old for this."
Yeah, it's basically saying, "Look, you're a lot younger than me. You deal with it.
Go on, kid.
I'll just stay here."
Right, another great scene: the toilet.
Oh boy, yeah, you can't.
Right, you explain.
Yeah, it's so Riggs goes to Murtaugh's house.
Yeah.
And Riggs is like panicking because he's thinking, oh, they're going to get to Murtaugh.
Yeah.
So he has that gut feeling, doesn't he? He drives to Murtaugh's house, and the door's been left open. So it's like, oh no, something must have happened to Murtaugh. He goes up the stairs like, "Murtaugh!" It's like, "I'm in here." He's like, "Where?" "In here." And he opens the door, and he's like,
The look on Riggs' face was
he's like that.
hilarious.
He's like, "Okay,
You want to be left alone?
do you want to be?" He's like, "No, and he, something's terrible's happened, man." He's like, "What?" He's like, "Look behind the toilet." He looks behind the toilet, and there's a bomb there. He's like, "There's a bomb." He's like, "I know."
I've sat here all night, my knees are numb. Because first time in 20 years, I finally have the bathroom to myself. No wife, no kids, screaming, banging on the door.
And this happened.
Reading my magazine and everything.
And this happens. And he goes, "So what should we
You
do?"
have to call the bomb squad.
He said, well, Riggs, he said, before he goes off, he's like, "Riggs," he said, "Yo, yeah," he said, "Keep this quiet."
Okay.
And then the next minute,
All the
he got
police force.
fire engines there.
Yeah.
He got...
The paramedics are there. What was also funny was, you know, the scene where the police director of the bomb squad, when he goes to like, this is a good old-fashioned tub,
Yeah.
cast iron, so it would withstand one hell of a blast. So what we're going to have to do is, you have to pull the curtain down and cover your ears when it goes off. You're going to have about 10 seconds before it goes off. So they grab him, he goes, "Right, on three." Oh, wait, let me get in the tub first. He goes, "You're not going to die tonight, Rog." And they start
That's a
laughing.
great scene as
I
well.
love that scene, yeah.
Because you see the connection between them.
Yeah, and he goes, "I'm not going to let this happen to you." And he's like, "On three. One." He goes, "So what?" We go, three goes, yes. You go, 1, 2, and 3.
Then
Go
go
away.
1, 2, 3 goes like
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. And pull him in there, then bang, and then the toilet goes out of the house. And it smashes onto a police car. And the funny thing is, in part 3, they do the exact. The funny thing is, "Hey Rod, do you remember the bomb on your toilet?" He goes, "How can I forget that?"
It's just, well, I love it. I love it when he's on the. I love it when after that, he's on top of him, isn't he?
He goes, "Get off me!" Then my fingers.
It's like he's like, "But before we do anything else here, can you just get off me before they come in? I might think something's up." he goes, yeah, good thinking. Yeah. He's got his trousers down now. He goes by his eyes. Yeah, before we get on, can you get off me?
It was hilarious. That scene was all right.
A little bit.
Yeah,
absolutely a little bit.
Absolutely.
So, favorite characters. 3 favorite characters.
Okay, I definitely say Leo Getz.
Of course.
Riggs definitely because he's. I'll say just Riggs, Murtaugh, and Getz because of the fact that if you look at it, the first 2 have developed a bit more. Where you see this one come here, he's kind of like they've all kind of like become a band of brothers.
Yeah, they're a trio, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a trio, and it's like if you see in that relationship has transcended it transcends in part 3 and part 4.
Oh, is it part 4 as well?
Yeah, he's in part 4 as well.
That's
I hope they bring him back in part 5.
Oh, that'd be incredible. They're still writing it, I think.
Yeah, but they've already signed, and I think they've written it, but they're just waiting for it to go into play. So Glover's going to be in his mid-70s. Gibson's in his 60s now.
Yeah. And Joe Pesci's not too far off, is he?
No, but they got to bring him back.
Yeah, they've got to.
They got to bring back Pesci for the next part. Because without him, it's not going to work.
So my favourite 3 are Leo Getz.
Yeah.
Okay. Forster.
Yeah, smart villain.
I just love the intelligence and the just ruthlessness and everything about this guy. He's British. His accent is great. I love his style as well because he looks so menacing, doesn't he?
He looks like a menacing butler.
He does.
Best way of calling him, he's like a menacing butler.
like an Alfred.
No, nobody could beat Alfred. Other than Jeffrey from Fresh Prince, nobody could beat Alfred.
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, in fact, I don't think even Jeffrey could beat Alfred because if you look at Alfred, he's military trained, he's a trained Shakespearean actor, and he's a medic.
Yep. So.
And the funny thing is, he handles everything in Wayne Manor, like whereas Bruce Wayne doesn't even know how the bills get paid. He handles it all for him. Yeah. But like one thing, it's like the smart move that you mentioned about Vorsted was the fact that the scene where he's looking around on the ground and Rod goes, "What are you doing?" It's, "I'm seeing if I'm standing on plastic and all that."
I love that. That's another favourite scene of mine.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
And Captain Murphy.
Yeah, I like Captain Murphy.
But another favourite scene, I know we're going over time, it's when Riggs breaks into the office, Rod's office.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You're crazy." He's like, "Trust me, you think that's crazy? You haven't seen nothing yet."
People say I'm nuts, so like I'm going right now.
So, you want to see crazy? Oh, so you're crazy. And it was like...
When he does that, eeny, meeny, miny, him out!
Shoots the fish tank. It's like, pick him up, like, no, not like that. He's trying to pick up, the fish is flopping on the floor. A little bit.
Yeah, it was a great scene.
One more as well.
Go for it.
Murtaugh and Leo, when they're having a chat with the South African embassy.
Yeah, that was it.
Right. And he goes, "But you're black," right? Murtaugh just flips out, doesn't he? And then he starts chanting the same chant as the protesters.
Yeah.
What is it saying?
I think he's saying "Free South Africa."
Free South Africa, free. And he just.
And they're all on his side.
Yeah, it's like, "Free South Africa, free South," and they're just taking him out, and they throw him outside. But that gives Riggs the chance
to get in there.
Because now all the attention's on them. So that's when he's allowed to roll through.
Well, what was the other favourite scene? Was, you know, where the security camera is zooming down on Riggs, and he's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
And the girl is actually smiling on the way out on the way out of her office. She's just smiling because she doesn't appreciate Rudd's views.
No, of course you don't. But it's a shame what happens to her. Right?
Yeah.
It's like Riggs feels it all again.
And then Vorsted says, "You didn't have much luck with women, do you, Riggs?"
Oh yeah, that's another stab in the heart.
Oh, but then no, he stabs Riggs in the leg, but then Riggs takes it out and stabs him in with it instead. But then he drops the crater on him.
Oh yeah,
that was sick. That was a sick way.
That was a bad way to die.
Talk about a person with a lot on their mind. I'm sorry.
Well, on that note,
Yeah. Well, that's all the time we have for today. This week, Aidan, it's always been a pleasure working with you, my brother. And sorry,
You don't want to.
yeah, don't want
You don't want to knock
mic
the
over.
microphone off. It's,
But I just want to say it's always been a pleasure working with you, Tal. Thank you very much. If you'd like to come by and give a goodbye message.
It was a pleasure to listen to their conversations, and also stay tuned. We have something better coming.
So next week we're going to be doing your choice, Scent of a Woman.
yeah, I won that.
If you haven't seen the movie Scent of a Woman, it's one of the best performances by the legendary Al Pacino. It's what he won Best Actor for. And it's going to be
Is he a
absolutely...
blind man in it?
Yeah, he is. So you have to really watch that movie as well. And it's also got Chris O'Donnell in it just before he played Robin in Batman Forever, yeah. No, actually he was alright.
Batman and Robin.
No, Batman Forever. Then he went and did Batman and Robin.
Which was it?
Val Kilmer. When he
Yeah,
took over.
it was a terrible film. The 90s Batman, other than Batman Returns,
Yes.
Michael Keaton Batman, which was a really good film. But the other ones,
No.
Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
No, Batman Forever was still a little bit better.
It was
than Batman.
good because you had Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Those two were good in it. Jim Carrey did what Jim Carrey does best, and Tommy Lee Jones did what he does best.
Yeah.
He's a tenacious,
Actor.
tragic character.
Oh yeah, he's. I can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah, it's great. But
Yeah.
Batman and Robin was awful.
Yeah.
No, it was awful.
Sorry, Arnold. As much as a fan we are of you, we're not. That's one movie of yours we're not reviewing.
Awful. The lines he had in that film were.
freeze is coming. Yeah. So.
God, terrible film.
Yeah. So stay tuned. Also, don't forget to follow us on all social media aspects, and also give Aidan a follow as well, and also Tal and the Wanderers, because without these guys we couldn't have done this. So always remember, the 80s rock.
They do rock.
Yeah.
What this guy said.
What this guy agreed with. This is Addy,
And Eden.
and we are
Out.
out.
See you soon, guys.
See you soon.